So like I said, once we enter into our account, once we have signed in to the Zoom account, we have three options that you can see on the top of the screen. We can schedule a meeting, we can join a meeting, or we can directly host a meeting. So these are the direct links that are available under our account page. So if I want to directly join a meeting, I can click on join a meeting link and I will get this particular screen which will ask you for the meeting ID. So like even for joining this particular meeting, I had shared the link or the meeting ID and the password. So that same ID you have to enter over here and click on join. So you can directly join any Zoom meeting, which is hosted by another person. If you want to host a meeting, it can be for maybe hosting a webinar or just having an online classroom with the students. So again, you have these options available. You can directly click on host the meeting on the right top corner of the screen, and you will have these three options available. The screen share only, with video on, or with video off. So I can even select, if suppose I do not want the video to be on, I don't want to show my face to the students, I just want them to see the content on the screen. So I can just select the options, share screen only with all the participants, and I can directly host a meeting with that particular setting. Or I can have with the video on, or I can have the video off. So each Zoom meeting will have multiple video feeds. We can even have group annotations, simultaneous screen share. The chat option is available, and we also have the option of whiteboards and sharing of whiteboards. Like I said, these are the things that I'll be covering in my later slides. Are we good to go? Sir, is the speed okay, or should I slow down a little bit? Sir, is the speed okay, or do I need to slow down a little bit?
No problem. The speed is okay.
Thank you, sir. So the next option is scheduling a meeting on Zoom, which is the main part. So we can either directly host a meeting, suppose if we are ready to go and if we have already decided in the group that today, maybe at 1 o'clock or today at 1:30, we are going to have a meeting. So I can directly log in. I can ask everyone to log in at 1 o'clock. I can directly host a meeting and I can invite other people to the meeting. Or if we are planning or scheduling meetings, I can also schedule a meeting on Zoom. So to schedule a meeting on Zoom, I have to click on this schedule a meeting link. Then I get this particular page wherein I have to enter the details about the meeting. So I can give the topic or the heading for the meeting. I can give a short description like what the meeting will be about. Like in the this particular screenshot, I have written the topic as ICT Tool Session 1. And I can give a short description saying that this is to discuss the features of the Zoom app. So depending upon what is the purpose of the meeting, you can just mention. Again, these are optional things. This is not a mandatory thing that you have to mention. This is the important part wherein you are entering the date and time and duration of the meeting. So we have this calendar option over here where you can just click on the calendar and select the date and mention the time of the meeting. And the duration, like I said, for if you're using the free basic accounts, the duration cannot exceed beyond 40 minutes. So that is why I have put 30 minutes only over here. And the time zone, you can, by default, if you are in India, residing in India, by default, you get this particular time zone, which is IGMT plus 5:30 India. If the time zone is of another country, so please make sure that you select the proper time zone so that there is no confusion between the time zones of other countries and India. So it should not happen that you are actually hosting a meeting at 1:30 p.m. in India and the time zone is of US. So the US will have a different time setting. And over here, then there may be a mismatch or a confusion with the time. So please make sure that there is a proper time zone setting which is selected over here. Then there is also an option of the recurring meeting. There's a small checkbox over here. This option can actually be used if you are going to use the same meeting ID for every meeting. Suppose if for a particular committee meeting, or if you want to take a meeting for a particular class, say class 1, you want to make the same or use the same meeting ID for that particular class, and you want to have continuous meetings. So then in that case, we can have this recurring meeting option on. Otherwise, if it's going to be a one-time meeting, then we just have to uncheck that particular option. So again, this is the continuation of the remaining part of the scheduler meeting page. For the meeting ID, I can select the meeting ID. This is the personal meeting ID which will be fixed for every account. This will not change. But then I also have the option of generating an automatic meeting ID. So every time I start or I schedule a new meeting, the Zoom software will generate an automatic meeting ID for me. And this is the additional security feature that I was talking about. So now Zoom is also giving you the option of having a mandatory password, so that if anyone wants to join your meeting, they need to have the password, only then they can join your meeting. So you can mention the password. Again, this is automatically generated, or you can select your own password, anything that you want to set a password for the meeting. We also have the video and the audio options over here, wherein we can restrict. The host is the person who is starting the meeting, and the participants are the invitees or the attendees of the meeting. So I can select the options over here, whether I want the host video to be on or off, or whether I want the participants video to be on or off. Then we have the audio options, wherein we can have a telephone or a computer audio, but the most preferred option is always having both, because some of your attendees may be using a computer, or some of them may be using their smartphones to attend the meeting. So it is always preferred to have this both option selected. Then we have another option wherein I can select or allow the participants to join before the host and start chatting via the chat window or the video interface using the personal meeting ID. Even for this particular meeting, I had not enabled anyone to join before the host, because I am the host for the meeting. So I have the right to admit other people to the meeting. Again, this is one of the security features. Or what might happen is, if I actually check this particular box, then it may happen that the host has not joined the meeting, but all the participants are already waiting for the host to join. So that should not happen. So that is why we can actually uncheck this particular option over here. I can mute the participants on entry. I can enable the waiting room. Again, the waiting room is when you got the link for joining the meeting. Again, I have the option of, you are put in the waiting room, wherein you get a message saying that please wait while someone allows you to enter the room. So this is that particular option. If I uncheck this, then the people who are clicking on the link will be able to directly join the meeting without the host having the ability to actually admit the person to the meeting or disallow the person for the meeting. So these are basically all the settings that you have when you schedule a meeting. You can actually check on the options depending upon the audience that you have. And then most importantly, you have to save the meeting settings. So once I have saved the meeting settings, so I have already saved a scheduled meeting, I can see the details under the meetings option, which is there on the left hand side of the left panel of the Zoom screen. Okay, so whatever meetings I have scheduled, I'll get the complete detail over here. I'll get the date, I'll get the topic of the meeting, I'll get the meeting IDs. And I also have, this is a direct link for me to start, edit, or delete the meeting from this particular panel. So there is a possibility, like suppose if I have already scheduled a meeting, but I have, due to some reason, if I'm not able to host the meeting or conduct the meeting, I can directly delete the meeting from here. Or even if I have to change the timing of the meeting, or maybe change the password or change the link of a meeting. So I can do all this from here under the My Meetings option. So the important part, just scheduling the meeting is not important. We also have to invite the participants for the meeting. So when I click on the My Meetings tab and I click on the meeting that is scheduled, these will be the details that will be displayed. So again, if I have to, Zoom will not send me an automatic reminder about the meeting. So it should not happen that if I have scheduled a meeting for tomorrow, say 12:30 p.m., wherein we're having another session, but I completely forget about the meeting. So by default, the Zoom app will not send you a meeting. But what we can do is we can actually enter this meeting into the Google Calendar, the Outlook calendar, or the Yahoo calendar, depending on whichever calendar we are using. I think almost everyone is having a Gmail account and everyone might be using the Google Calendar. So if I can directly add to this, then we can get regular reminders from our Google Calendar on our email or the phone, saying that you have scheduled a meeting on so and so date and so time. So this is also an option which is available in the Zoom app. The meeting ID will be displayed, the password, whichever password we have selected, and then to invite the participants for the meeting, this is the URL that we need to share with all the participants. So I can copy the invitation and then I can send it in the WhatsApp group. I can send it to the participants through email. So this is the later part of that particular page. So again, for scheduling a meeting, the same thing, the settings that we have already selected to host the video. So we can select the video, enable and disable the options for host and participants. And for audio type also, we can select the computer, audio and microphone. So before we can start a meeting, we can check our whether, because we'll be using a normal earphones, the ones that we use with our normal smartphones. So we can check if the audio and video settings are proper. This is actually the main part, which is the in-meeting controls. Okay, so this is the control options or the controls bar that you have whenever you are in a meeting, or especially when you're hosting a meeting. So these are the various options, which are, most of them are self-explanatory, but we'll just go through them quickly. The very first option is for mute and unmute, and you will have a list of options wherein we can select which audio, which microphone you're using for this particular meeting. You can select the speakers. You can even test the microphone and speakers. The next one is to start or stop the video. So I can even select which camera I want to use. I can even choose a virtual background for my video layout. So instead of the normal background that I am sitting in my room and you can see whatever is there in the background, I can actually choose an image and set a background for my video, which will be displayed on the attendees or the participant screen. Then we have the security feature over here, again, which allows us to lock the meeting. So if I want to lock the meeting, suppose if I want only around 60 people to attend the meeting, I don't want to allow any other more than 60 participants for a particular meeting. So I can use this particular option of lock the meeting. So enable waiting room, we had already checked this particular option in the settings bar under scheduling a meeting. So I have enabled the waiting room that every participant who is entering my meeting has to take my permission. I have to admit them. So these are again the various options. Here, another good thing about the Zoom app is that all the participants of the meeting can share the screen they can chat, they can rename themselves, they can annotate on the shared screen. So again, the teacher or the host can select this, whether they want all the participants to share the screens or only the host can share the screen. If we are having a formal meeting, then we can allow everyone, all the participants of the meeting to share their screens. But in case of an online classroom, I would not recommend having this particular option checked. Because we should, when we are talking or when we are passing on information, sharing the documents with the students, we should not allow them to share their screen with us, because it may just cause confusion in whatever is being explained. The next is the participants, which will give you the detailed of the participants. So how many participants are there in the meeting? You can see that. And even when you click on participants, you have various options available there. You can also make the other participants a host of your meeting. So there can be many hosts for a single meeting. So you can rename the participants, you can mute the participants being the host, or you can disable or allow their video. So there are a list of options that you have in the participant section. Then the next is your share screen option. Again, when you have this particular option, you can share your entire screen. Whatever is there on the computer will be visible to all the people who are there in the meeting. You can have a whiteboard option, wherein I can simply have a whiteboard and I can scribble something, I can put text on it, or you can directly share your iPhone or iPad. So all these options are available. This is a very interesting option, which is there in the share screen option, annotate option. So you have, once you click on this particular annotate, you have all these various formatting options available, wherein you can select the text, you can draw things, you have stamp options, you have the spotlight option, and even for formatting, you have the various color palette and all given. So I can actually annotate anything. I can draw on the screen. I can write something on the screen, and I can even play with all the colors in the color format. And once I am done, I also have the option to clear the entire thing, or I can even save my annotations. If this is majorly useful if you're having a lot of group discussions going on, so you can share the annotations with your participants, even they can put up their ideas on the screen. And then if you want to save this, we also have the option of saving that particular thing. So all the ideas or the points discussed during the meeting are saved. So these are a few more in-meeting controls. Again, we can allow the chat, we can record the session and save them. We can allow the participants to annotate, we can show the name. So these options are available. Then there are a few additional meeting controls, wherein you just have the invite button, where you can click on the invite button and invite other participants. It can be done via mail or via contacts. Then we can choose the video layout. This is what you already have on your screen. You can choose the video layout, how you want the video to be displayed on the screen. You also have the full screen view or the exit the full screen view option on the screen. And then you also have this option wherein you can pin a particular video and you can make that particular participant as a primary speaker. Or usually what happens is, when there are many people in the meeting and whenever everyone is talking, the person who is talking, that screen appears in the center. That becomes a primary speaker. So if I want a particular person to be the primary speaker for the meeting, I want to see only that particular screen. So I can select this particular pin video. So on that particular screen, I can just right click and click on pin video. So I will have only that particular screen as a primary speaker. And the last option is leaving the meeting. So again, we have the option, we have the leave meeting button on your control panel. So I can leave the meeting if I wish to. So that was all the basic things I have tried to cover because we have a limited time constraint. There are just 2 minutes left for this meeting. So probably in case there are many queries, I may just start with another meeting in a short period of time. Sir, we are done with the basic things. If time permits, I can actually start with the live session if there are any doubts.
We'll share this Manjut ma'am's PowerPoint to all of you on our group.
Yes, I'll be sharing this entire thing. I've actually made a PDF of, step-by-step instruction PDF. So I'll be sharing this document in the WhatsApp group.
So please practice. If you have any doubt, ask on group. Practice, at least spend 1 hour, you'll be able to learn. If there is any doubt, you can ask question on group also. Our resource people are there to help you. Anybody want to ask any question?
Sir, can I ask?
Yeah, Punika ma'am.
Okay. Sir, is it mandatory to download a Zoom app? Because like I am using right now through browser only. And it is very well clear right now. But ma'am just explained about this option. So I am not getting those options. So is it mandatory to download the app? Because I can use Zoom directly from the browser itself.
Ma'am,
like ma'am just explained about the virtual.
Ma'am, I'll answer your question. It is not compulsory to download the Zoom app. The in-meeting controls that I was talking about, you will get these controls only when you are hosting a meeting.
Okay. That is what I was wondering, because the people who are speaking, only the primary speaker are coming on the screen.
Yes, exactly.
I cannot see anybody there. Yeah.
Yeah, so that is the option where I was talking about pinning the video. So because there are around 56 participants in this particular meeting. So if I don't want to see all the screens, I want to see only one particular screen there. So I can actually just click on it and pin video. So that